We're going to talk a little WNBA as their week begins, having not played any contests on Monday. Hope that your Memorial Day weekend was fabulous and you got some rest and relaxation and built up your bankroll. I really struggled in the NBA playoffs. I'm very disappointed in that. I am still perfect in the WNBA this season, 3-0 on official client plays, and hitting it back and forth in baseball. But we will look to get going late May and into June. We've got some great deals at both Sports Memo and Wager Talk that you can take advantage of. So check out the sites and pick out your best and favorite handicappers or preferred packages and hop on and let's make some money this summer. So the WNBA has been profitable. It has not been kind, though, to the Indiana Fever and Los Angeles Sparks, which are our two subjects for this evening as they play the most anticipated game of the night, despite the fact that both teams are in rebuilding mode, having picked first and second in the WNBA draft. The Fever are 1-6, the Sparks are 1-4, and they meet in round two after scoring off on Friday, May 24th, in what was a really exciting matchup, the most attended game in LA Sparks history, over 19,100 packed in to check out the Sparks and Fever, and it really kind of felt like an Indiana home game. And the Sparks led 45-34 at the half, but were outscored 44-28 in the second half as the Fever finally claimed win number one of the Caitlin Clark era. They won 78-73 as 1.5-point favorites in the lowest scoring game that they've been involved in all season. It was their second largest scoring output of the season, the second lowest, I should say. They were beaten 102-66 in their home opener, but the 78 points that they scored against LA were good enough to win, despite really shooting struggles from Caitlin Clark that have continued. We'll get into that here in a second. The Fever actually were led by Kelsey Mitchell's 18 points and Aaliyah Boston's 17.6 rebounds and 2 steals. But Clark did hit a pair of crucial threes in the fourth quarter, finished with 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. And I'm telling you, we talked about Caitlin Clark at the beginning of the season. I felt most of her props were inflated and ridiculous. I've been proven right early in the season on that. Not happy about it. Just I knew what animal she was going in to face, especially with a lot of people looking to make their name off of hers. So I did recommend going to a triple-double prop, and I believe the number was 3, over 3 triple-doubles on the season. I still think she gets there, and that 11, 10, and 8 in LA is indicative of what she can do. But Clark has struggled offensively. The Fever went out the next night after winning this game in LA and lost 98-80 in Las Vegas. Everybody loses to Las Vegas, so there's nothing really terrible about that. But she was held to a season low 8 points, dished out 7 assists, but had 6 turnovers, third most of her season. And what we're seeing from Clark is that she can get past her. She tries to make a lot of plays, and she needs to stay within herself and continue to do that because there will be progress. But she's just 6 for 22 from three-point range over the last 3 games, averaging 16 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 7.7 assists in that span. So she really is stuffing the stat sheet. She's averaging 15-4, 5-4, and 6.3 dimes for the season. Still the favorite to win Rookie of the Year at minus 650 at FanDuel, and the field is plus 420. So the field really right now at this point is Cameron Brink, who individually is plus 700, Angel Reese, who is plus 1,200 and doing well in Chicago, and a long shot to watch, also plays for the Chicago Sky, has yet to debut, but will do so probably this weekend or at the very least early next week. And that's Camila Cardozo of the national defending champion South Carolina, who's at plus 15,000 right now since she hasn't debuted. That's 150 to 1. Hey, if she comes in and lights the league up, she's really got a shot because she hasn't missed that much time. So I would keep an eye out on that. I still say that the field is a pretty good bet, but we'll see what Cameron Brink, who's narrowed the gap a little bit, can do as she tries to take down the Fever in Indiana. She's been really good of late. Had a season high 21 points the other day in an 84-83 loss to Dallas. Dearica Hamby is teamed with her in a really nice, productive front court. Hamby had 19 and 13 in that game, and 18, 12, and 7 against the Fever in the loss on Friday night. Brink went for 15 and 9 there. Cameron Brink is probably the best defender in the WNBA among rookies right now, and really making her presence felt in the paint. But they lost that game to the Wings because they kept giving up offensive rebounds there in the closing stages. They had rallied to take a big, sizable lead after falling behind into the fourth quarter. And one player that really made a difference for them in that game was second-year Chinese center Lee Yuru, who played 21 minutes in her first 4 games and went for 10 and 9 and 18 minutes against Dallas. So we'll see if she becomes a secret weapon that you have to watch out for in this matchup against the Sparks. She played 16 games off the bench for Chicago in 2022 and sat out last year. She was playing in Besiktas in Turkey. So we'll see if she becomes an X factor for LA, who really needs the boost. Kia Nurse and Lexi Brown were terrible against the Fever in the loss. 4 for 21 from the field. They missed all 12 threes that they took. They weren't much better in the loss to Dallas. They combined to shoot 4 for 18 there. All the makes were Lexi Brown's. A Nurse was scoreless in 17 minutes, and they combined to shoot 2 for 7 for 3. So they're a combined 2 for 19 from three-point range entering this contest against the Fever. And so with the total at 165.5, even though Indiana likes to push, particularly at home, I would not recommend the over here. The Caitlin Clark numbers for this game, she's 19, minus 130 to score over 19.5 points, even money bet to score under. She might be due a breakout game, but I would still stay away from any scoring output numbers for Clark. Her three-point make number is down to 3.5. Remember, it was about 5.5 to start the season. And if you bet the under, it's heavily juiced at minus 154. So I still say the safest play for Caitlin Clark, if you want to bet her individually, is 6.5 assists to the over, which is juiced at minus 130. But for this game, and I will say one other thing you need to be aware of for the Indiana Fever is they have made a lineup change with Temi Fagembele replacing Nalissa Smith. Smith is a former top 2 pick in the WNBA draft and really started the season well. We'll see if she settles into a 6-man role. But both of these teams still trying to figure things out. However, I do favor the Indiana Fever. That is our official pick for this free pick video. I like the Fever to cover 4.5, 5 points against the Sparks. Given that the LA Sparks have their starting backcourt shooting so poorly, I don't think that translates well for them on the road. Aaliyah Boston really picking things up. She had such a slow start to the season and missed that layup earlier in last week that would have tied a game against the Connecticut Sun of all teams, who are really formidable. So I think she's slowly rounding into shape, took that really well, bounced back, had a pretty solid road trip, and I think Aaliyah Boston becomes the player that we saw last year sooner than later when she was Rookie of the Year in the WNBA as last season's #1 pick. So that's our play. We like the Indiana Fever. It's an official client play, 3-0 on WNBA client play. So clearly, if I missed this one, it's all your fault. But we will try to continue our run in the WNBA with a pick here. And I believe I'll have another client play, 2 other games in the W tonight on Tuesday. The Phoenix Mercury play at the Connecticut Sun, and the Seattle Storm play at the Chicago Sky. So all eyes will be on this one. It's on NBA TV. Again, the Indiana Fevers, who are back in, lay 4.5 against the LA Sparks. Like and subscribe to all our videos here at Wager Talk TV. You'll get great content that you can digest and choose to invest in any way you like. You can fade or follow along and on the ride. And again, if you're riding tonight, we're riding the Fever to pick up win #2 against the team that they've already beaten. And incidentally, they were favored in that game against the Sparks. So they're looking to go 2 for 2 in a favorites role, as these are the only 2 games that they've been favored in. For Wager Talk TV, I'm Tony Mejia, wishing you a happy Tuesday and a great rest of your week.